Happy Friday! Millie and I wanted to say hello, and we're back to make doll jewelry today. And Millie loves my workshop because there's lots of spider webs and spiders. And she is a spider attacker, aren't you? Yeah, we have to watch her because we don't want her to get a bad spider. No, there's no bad spiders. It's the stupid little creepy daddy long legs down here. Ooh, I hate them things. But that's what you get when you're in a basement. Anyway, this is my new kitty, Millie. She's a new shop kitty. She's part Maine Coon, long hair in her ears. She's got big fluffy paws over her eyes. Let's took her out, baby. Took her out. Big fluffy white belly. And we've had Millie for, what, hubby, about 5 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So she's our new mascot kitty, and she's starting to demonstrate her real personality, which is mischievous. She's a little bit older than a year. We got her at Angels for Animals in Canfield, Ohio. And I don't know if you're familiar with Angels for Animals. I don't know if it's all across the country, but if you want a pet and you want to get a kitty that somebody doesn't want or can't keep anymore, their animals are so healthy. And it's a wonderful place to go. You can go play with the kitties. They have 4 rooms full of kitties at this one. Millie chose us. Her original name was Boots, but like every cat with middies. Yeah, you didn't like that. That was mean, wasn't it? Likes to be called Boots, I guess, or they call him Boots, so we said her name is Millie. So that's it. Millie Vanilli. Okay. So say bye-bye, peoples. I showed my pretty face. Now I'm going to go get in trouble. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, this week, now I'm plastered with cat hair. I actually thought she didn't shed at first. Yeah, she does. Anywho, we're going to do doll jewelry like I promised you last week, and I'm wearing my pinky necklace, which I decided not to do anything else to. It's mine. I'm keeping this one. And I made it on the blank that we used last week. And by the way, my flamingo set of jewelry that I was wearing is sold. Boom, gone already. I put it on my website and bingo bango gone. So that's a good one. So try making one and you'll sell yours. Anyway, we're going to do several different stampings to show how versatile this could be and how many ways you could take it. You could get real elaborate with it. I still can't find my big honkin' dog garden necklace that I had made some time ago, but I have a picture of it here someplace and I'll show it to you. And maybe a week down the road we'll make a great big honkin' one. But we're going to work with Pinky today, and she is again the porcelain doll from 1928 Jewelry Company. It's vintage and they don't use it anymore in making jewelry, so I got to buy a bunch of them, Pinky and Pauline, and they make very nice jewelry. So I'm going to shut up and we're going to get down to it. Come on over here and let's make some doll jewelry. Now that is a sea of pearly pinkies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pinkies in there. Woohoo, I'm pinky rich. Alright, well let's get this out of the way and get down to making something out of one of these pinkies. Let's pick her. Okay, you get to be in my next piece of jewelry. So, what I chose to make the jewelry was an autumn leaf. And let's see if I have my autumn leaf in here to tell you the number, or if I dumbly put it away. No, here it is. The autumn leaves drip by my window. LF03949 is this leaf, to which I have applied Lumiere paints. I first spray painted it white, off-white, distressed it, and then I used halo blue and highlight blue and a little bit of green and mushed it around with my fingers. My fingers were plastered, but I got most of it off. And then I sealed it with a spray Krylon matte. Super easy peasy. Drilled it out because these don't come drilled. Drilled a hole here, here, and here. You can also use your hole punch. You can go back to the hole punch video and review a safe and easy peasy way to make holes with a hole punch so that you don't hurt yourself or bust your hole punch. And this is the hole punch of choice. Okay, I'm going to set it over there. So is this in view, Javi? So that they can see it really good. Okay, so now you can see I've just added a little trail of dingly danglies, and we've done that a bazillion times, so I don't think I need to demonstrate that. So I like to prep things as much as possible so that we can go ahead and get the videos done. Now I should have checked my E6000 to make sure that it was flowing. Sometimes you gotta trim these off because, yeah, duh. Okay, I gotta poke it. I'm gonna poke it with something when I got pliers. Now, if you use your pliers to poke your E6000, of course, then you better clean your pliers off. That kind of goes without saying. I did that off camera, I just noticed. Ha! You'll have to guess how I did it. It doesn't take too much guesswork, does it? Okay, I got it flowing. Okay, the thing about Pinky, when you use her, is on some findings, she doesn't seat very well. So you would have to do something else, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But on this, she seats pretty well because there's kind of a little dip in here, and that's kind of what you want, is something like that. So I am going to put, this is Pinky's backside. See, she's done all the way around. She's totally dimensional. I'm going to put some E on her there, where she's going to catch most. And then I'm going to put some down here. Okay, and then I'm going to have probably a little cleanup on this. But she's going to go right straight down the middle there. And I think I'm going to move her down a little bit because I have a plan. I have this cute little crowns. Let me move my fingers out of the way, because people do say my fingers get in the way, and I apologize for that, guys. Okay, yeah, Millie, we hear ya. She says, I knew we should have let you down here. Yep. Yeah, I missed my other kitty, and I wasn't going to get another kitty for a long time. I didn't. But then after about 4 days of no cat in the house, I couldn't stand it anymore. And we went to Angels for Animals, like I said, and I used that wire, by the way, to clean up the, if you wonder what I was doing, I was cleaning up glue. Went to Angels for Animals, and Millie actually chose us. She came up every time I went in her room, because they have 4 different rooms of cats. She came up and laid down under my knees on the steps. So she wanted to come home with us, I guess. Anyway, I was thinking I might give Pinky a crown. Isn't that a cute little crown stamping? That was just raw brass, to which I added highlight blue Lumiere, which we have at the website. The highlight red sold wet, just like out right now, because Karen Eaton showed on the creative group yesterday something that it would do, and everybody went nuts and bought it last night. So, because I tell you, I gotta get some more. But anyway, I got a problem. I want to put this on here, but I got a little design problem. Now I can move these out, but that's not going to fit, because then it's going to get real clumsy, you know, when you go to wear this. So I'm going to have to trim this down. That is when my handy dandy Linda and Opie O'Brien from Burnt Offerings metal shears come in. Linda and Opie are retired now, boo-hoo. But when they retired, they told me where to get these shears and said, will you offer these since we aren't going to do it anymore? And I said, well, heck yeah, because I already knew how good they were. So I'm just going to cut that off. See, it wasn't too hard. I'm going to cut this piece off too. If you don't have, these are a little old. I probably should replace these because I've been using, I think these are the ones that Linda gave me, as a matter of fact, many years ago. Or a number of years ago. Maybe not many, but a number of years ago. And I've used them a bunch. Oh, that went flying on the floor. Nice. Something else to clean up. Okay. And I'm going to get some of these pliers too for you guys soon, because they're just the bomb. I wouldn't be without them. But anywho, this needs filed now. But I think, before I do that, I'm going to check. It still looks like a crown. And it'll fit now without goofing up the flow of things. I might even put a little piece of rhinestone chain there. Do I have this even? I might need to trim this a little bit more. Let me turn it. I'm going to turn it away from the camera because I don't want it flying up and hitting Javi in the eye. That just wouldn't be a bit polite. Would it, Javi? She doesn't know. She's busy. Now, you're really not supposed to file like that, but that's how I file. Whatever works. It's supposed to file like this. Oh, I say, what the hey. What did I do with my filing block? It's over there. Excuse me, folks. I'll be right back. I told you this is going to be a wonky video today. Anywho, a lot of times in lieu of a clumsy file on a little tiny piece like this, take one of these nail things that you get for like $1 or less in a dollar store, and just, oh, let me not do that over the pinky. It'll go down in the glue. One way. Yeah, they were, oh, that's so smooth. That's so smooth. Or even a piece of quadruple aught steel wool will do it. Let's tag on that. I always go for the easy way. You know, this is not real metal smithing anyway. You know, mixed media is art, but it's not your precise type stuff. So whatever works and however it works. So yeah, it's supposed to flower up like that. You know what? This works for me. So whatever works, okay? Whatever works so that you don't have anything sticking out. A little bit more. This will just make it so smooth. Oh, that's awesome. Fast too. I would have been here messing around all day with that. Ooh, hiss. Don't want that. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in there. In there. Gotta get it straight. I think I'll seat it down in just a little bit. See, then that way, that'll be nice. I need a little piece of rhinestone chain. I got a little. Do you see all my treasure in here? I'm gonna cut a little piece of this off and put on that crown. I love rhinestone chain. I don't love the price of it a lot of times though. The chain that we have on the site is really reasonable. Okay, so I'm going to cut this right here so it fits. Okay, now I'm going to glue the little thing in place. I just got a little bit of glue on her head, but I can do my cleanup later. Okay, so now what I like to do with a little piece of chain is I'll get it in my pliers. You might have a better way. If you do, you can mention it so long as you're nice. Anybody says things that aren't nice, I take them off my YouTube. But I don't mind constructive new ideas, ever. That's how we learn. It's by being nice and sharing. That's how it is at the Bisou Boutiques Creative Group. We only do nice there. Okay. Because when people aren't nice, it prevents learning. I'll tell you a little story. See, I'm getting a piece of wire here so I can add a little bit in here. When I was in grade school, I had a math teacher who scared the life out of me because she wasn't nice. And there was no need for her not to be nice. She just wasn't nice. I don't know. Maybe she didn't like kids. Maybe she shouldn't have been a teacher. I don't know. She wasn't nice. And then I had another one a little bit further down the line. It wasn't nice. And it just made me cramp up in every imaginable way. And I couldn't learn math. And they couldn't figure out why, because they said that my IQ was pretty good. I'm not a genius by any means. I mean, you know that. But where are my toothpicks? I thought I was ready for this. Do you see them, Javi? I know I'm looking at them. I've got to be looking at them. You guys see my toothpicks? Just tell me where they are. They're over there. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just use my pieces of wire. Well, it doesn't cost much. For the sake, let me get back to my story. So she wasn't nice, and they couldn't figure out why. And I was a timid child, and I just froze up as far as math is concerned. They couldn't figure out why I couldn't do it, because I should be able to do it. I can do bookkeeping, but I couldn't do more abstract things because my teacher was so mean I just froze. She was so nasty. She would make you go up in front of the class and embarrass you, call you out. Terrible. So I didn't learn very good. And I always regretted that. I didn't. And I don't want to say it's all the teacher's fault. I should have been tougher, but I wasn't. And I just don't believe in nastiness. Because it stunts growth, and I am proof of it. See, now I'm putting those little leaves in there behind her. I'm proof of it. My son Jordan, he had the same problem. He had a mean teacher who just was very unkind to him, and he started struggling the same way. I went in here and I told her my story, and I said, this will not happen to my son. And she got the point real fast, because by then I wasn't meek and timid anymore. So, the moral of that story is, be nice to people, encourage them. We all teach one another in one way or another in life. We all do. We all teach one another. So always be nice. There's enough nastiness out there in the world. Here, let me get my hands out of the way. I don't want this to look like a halo. Maybe some of you would, but I don't. So I just wanted it to go across and decorate the thing. I don't know, maybe it's not working too good. Anywho, you're getting the point of how cool Pinky is on a stamping. This is going to be a really sweet little piece when we're done. And she needs some roses, I think. So I'm going to put a little rose here on this side. Or maybe it should go on this side. Maybe we should do two. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe two's too much. Yeah, I think two's too much. Maybe we'll do a rose on one side. And some little pearlies on the other side. Hopefully I got enough glue under that. Anything that I didn't get right, I'll be fixing later. So, just basically sharing ideas here. We're not worrying so much about finished perfect. Okay. Yes. The power of niceness in learning. Very, very strong. Just not worth it to be nasty. Although I can't say I've never been nasty. I'm sad when I've been nasty. And then I think about how hard people's life is anyway, and why treat them like that. I kind of like that, so I'm going to do it. You might not. You can do what you want with your pinky. I'm just saying. That's what I'm doing. And then what I would do is I think I'll add a little bit of blingies in there, some little rose motifs maybe, and some little pearls, which I'm going to do later because I have other things I want to show you today. And if we stay on this the whole time, we're not going to get to them, and then I'll be sad. So, I'm going to set this pinky aside. As you can see, I put the chain on her already. And the reason I did is for time's sake. Now see, you might look at that and you might say, Brenda, I don't like how you cut that. You know what I say? Then don't do it. I'm going to set her up there for now. Okay, here's a few other things I did with Pinky. Pinky, I put her on this stamping, which is this stamping, which has tissue decoupage, and it has been primered, and then it has had a little bit of paint added to it and distressed, and then it has a diamond glaze top. And that is a piece that I absolutely love. It's Fig 02112. And it looks like this in raw brass. And I can't tell you enough how smart it is to buy raw brass and put your own colors on it, even if you just want to do metallics, because you can save so much money. Fig 0212. The only thing I got to tell you about this, in order to get her to sit on there nice, you can see, I don't know if you can tell how that's kind of pushed up in the middle there. I took this and put it on my bench block before I put any color on it. And I hammered it a little bit because nobody's going to see that once you treat it and put color on it. And then that way she goes down on there. Oops, I'm sorry, honey. A little bit better. So she's already drilled out here, here, and here. Oh, and here too, and here too. So she's going to be fancy when she's done. I just got to find the right leaves and stuff to put around her. I haven't yet. But that's an idea for you with Pinky. You can make a whole line of Pinky jewelry. I just may do that. See, here's another one I got ready. I like how that came out. I didn't even drill it yet. Okay, another one that works with Pinky. Oops, put that down nicely. Is this heart. And it is Fig 01779 from BeatsandBoutiques.com in raw brass. And we got lots of all these. Lots of all of them. She works real good on that. She also works really good on this. All these pieces have been treated with Lumiere paint today. Okay? She works really good on this. I'm going to show you how. Should go right there. The only thing is, because it's filigree, you're going to see through the back of that. And glue could seep through the back of it, so you won't have a nice finished piece. So what I would advise is that maybe you get a small brass blank that maybe, we have an oval one that just came in, it would be perfect for this, just to put like right here. And then put her on there and do your embellishments around it. Then you'd still have the open spots in the filigree so that you could, you know, hang your chain. Let's see, I want to get it this way. So hang here and here. You could hang things from there. And it'd be fun. You could do themes with her. You could put a little kitty by her. You could put sewing stuff by her. All kinds of pretty little things that you could put by her. And you know, she has her sister Pauline too, who's all blue. So if you prefer to go all blue, you can go all blue. And this piece in raw brass is Phil, F-I-L 07939. And we got a big stock of them too. Now, this is another possibility. The reason I have this scuffed off in the middle is when you do paint, and I didn't do it with that leaf, I should have, but she's probably going to stay on there good. But this piece being flat and no texture, it's best to scuff the paint off underneath, because sometimes the paint can interfere with a good bond. I think we're fine on that leaf because it's dapped, not flat, and there's texture, so there's something to grab, but there isn't anything here. But she would be cute on that. Once again, I did Lumiere's, I did indigo, I did halo blue and highlight white, and mixed it all in, and then distressed it over the ivory prep, which is the spray paint. You spray paint them first. So that's a thought. So we did several there. Now I have another couple that I wanted to show you. This would be awesome. This would take some time, but this is just tailor-made for doing Pinky. I've got it even drilled out and ready to add things to it. Because there's this depression down the middle for a doll. And, you know, this would go for you that like to use the frozen Charlottes and body parts and stuff like that too. I'm sorry, I keep kicking Javi's thing. This would be really good for that because, you know, you want something with a depression down the middle so it could nestle down in. So it's not just for Pinky and Pauline. Those pieces would be good too. She got a little bit of dirt on her hand, so I'm not going to use her. I'll clean it off later. Oops, she brought a couple pearls with her. Okay, that's a cool idea. So I might glue her down in the middle there. Now, what would I put with her? Oh, we'll try a few things. I'll start it. I'm not going to finish it today. But I've got some stuff to make a little tassel dangle thing. And I'll probably do pearls around the neck. But let's go ahead and put Pinky in. And this one, I'm going to get her on the back. And I think because of the way this seats, I'm good. I don't need to put any down at the bottom. There we go. But I just covered my holes. So you got to watch that when you pre-drill your holes. Well, and you have to if you're going to do assemblage. Don't cover them. Keep them out of the way. I'm not really teaching you guys anything. This is all stuff, you know, we all know, but it's just kind of fun to consider another option. So I have these leaves here. I just cut the whole off. And I'm thinking maybe I'll put a leaf there. And I'm going to need some more of my little ceramic roses, which I don't have down here, but some of those would be good on there too. No, here's a couple. Here's one. We could get an idea. I have the big ones, but the big one dwarfs her, don't you think? I do. I think if you're going to do this, maybe it'd be good to, this would be really pretty, just to do like some leaves around that and some rosemontees, maybe a pretty stone or a cameo, and let it go at that, and let that be your focal. Be enough. And with assemblage, that's just it. There's no right or wrong, as I've said so many times. But there is flow. There is movement. There is a point where it gets to be too much. And I'm as guilty as anybody of overkill. I mean, I tend to go that way with too much. Maybe I'll take one of these. I love to layer the leaves too. Now these are, what if I put gold with it? No. I know what I'll do. I'll just snap this off and put it in. See, it's all layering. I'm going to put like that. I like that. But you can see the way this will go. You know how I'm going to develop this. You've seen me do this enough. I'm going to go all around this doll and build out to the edges. And no, I don't want to cover this whole thing, because then what's the point? I've seen so many times people, and I've done it too, I'm as guilty as anybody, take these elaborate, beautiful stampings with all this beautiful detail and totally muck them up with too much stuff covering it and use them like a blank. They're not blanks, you know, they should be, you know, let to speak on their own. So if I put too much on there, that will not happen. That's just going to be totally covered and made so that you can't see how gorgeous it is. I mean, I'm getting there already with just that much. Pinky doesn't take anything away, but she goes right down the middle. But you get these leaves on here. It's gonna. I'll put one right there. But this way, the reason I'm doing this much is because you guys can see flow. Okay, flow is so important, especially if you're new to assemblage. People will put assemblage down and they'll say, oh, you know, you just take an E6000 glue or whatever glue. Some people do hot glue. Please don't ever do that. That's not appropriate for assemblage of this kind. And you know, you're not really an artist. You're just throwing glue down. No, I'm not just throwing glue down. There's proper glue technique. You know, you've got to glue your stuff appropriately so that it doesn't fall apart. My things don't tend to fall apart. I've had very few in a long career of doing assemblage fall apart. I think I like that there. Honestly. Very few come back for that. You know, I'm not saying it never happened, but it's rare. You know, I truly believe if you use proper technique and the proper materials, your work can be as enduring as soldered things. Soldered things come apart too, believe me. I did enough vintage jewelry in my time, I know that. Saw a lot of beautiful pieces that came apart, and it wasn't because they were costume brass and glass, it was because they weren't soldered right or the solder didn't hold up. It happens. It doesn't mean just because it's soldered that it's better. Let's see what this looks like. Nope, that looks dumb. You know why? It's because it's like two things. This should be small things in here to balance that off. I like it kind of asymmetrical type. So in here should be little pearls and rosemontees. So I'm going to lay down a few rosemontees and maybe I'll do the pearls later, and I'll put these pieces on my blog at Typepad, which is, it's called Jewelry Making Outside the Box, and if you put that into Google, it will come up. Jewelry Making Outside the Box. Just stick it in Google. My blog's going to come up. It's been there for a long time. I've been blogging for a good 10 years. So there are a lot of things in there that you can read about the jewelry business. You know what? Just for sake of time, I'm not going to mess around putting any more in there. Because, you know, like I say, it'll end up being like paint drying. You know, I don't want you to have to watch that. Watching paint dry. But you can see where I'm going with this. And I'll fill this out, get them done, and I'll put them on my blog, and then they'll probably go on my website and I'll sell them. Which would be good. Because, hey, just like everybody, I need the money too, right? Sure. That's the whole point of making a jewelry, right? Unless you're just doing it because you love it, and that's great too. Go for it. Hey, what a blessed life. But most of us need to sell our work, so we need to make designs that will resonate with people, and people love dolls. They love dolls. I'm a lover of dolls. I always say I'm in trouble if I go in a shop and a doll starts calling Mama. Because I'm going to buy it. And I probably shouldn't. Okay, so there she is on that piece. And that piece, by the way, we have a fine stock of those too, and it is FIG, F-I-G 03740. F-I-G 03740. BeSueBoutiques.com. One last piece I'm going to show you, and then we're out of here for today. This piece is where I have taken and wired Pinky in. And the biggest problem I had with her, and I still have to do some adjustments, and no, this piece is by all means not, by no means finished, is that. It is LF09727. Very, very popular piece. People, I've used this in videos a number of times, and people love to use this piece. LF09727, raw brass. It was treated spray painted ivory, Krylon spray paint, let to dry overnight, distressed, and then I added indigo, and highlight blue, Lumiere paints. If you guys have not tried Lumiere paints, run, don't walk to buy them. They were first known as a fabric paint, and then some of us started finding out how great they work on brass, especially raw brass. They're economical to use, a little goes a long way, and look how gorgeous. Just beautiful. These were all sealed too with matte spray. They look awesome when you top them with, when you top them with like ice resin. They're just amazing how they glow. Anyway, Pinky's wired in there. This is that freeform wiring. Gail Bird has written an awesome book on it. If you guys don't have it, Freeform Art Jewelry, I think it's called. She teaches really good methods how to do it. I just go, I'm really freeform. I just do what I feel and it goes whatever, and I don't have great technique. If I did it more, I would though. But this is along that line. And this is by no means done because it needs balance. It needs me either to take these beads out or to put more maybe going up this way, maybe surround this with a little bit of seed beads here and there, this and that, and something over here, maybe with something coming this way to balance that. Let me get my hands out of the stinking way. But you can see what I've done so far. This is 20 gauge wire that I had just gold plated that I had down here for a long time, and it worked fine. Don't cut your lengths off too long because you, number one, poke yourself in the eye or gouge somebody or yourself, and also two, if it's too long it gets kinked. So work with short lengths and learn how to connect them. But anyway, I'm going to finish this up and finish this up, finish up all my pinkies. Thinking maybe I'll take some 28 gauge, maybe wire some things in there. Maybe that'd be good. Look, ooh, that gives it a lot of movement. How about that? And then see, I wouldn't need anything over here except maybe another bead for accent, and then maybe use these beads in the neckline, and then that will pull it together, and maybe one dangling here, and that would pull it together. So you wouldn't need too many. But I'm going to finish them up, and you'll see what I did, and you'll agree or you'll disagree, but you'll get ideas. And that's what it's all about. It's about the ideas. It's about the sharing. It's about the kindness. It's about the joy, the giving, the paying it forward. All the things that people have shown you and shared with you. Do it for somebody else, like they say, each one teach one. Share it. Share what you learn in a kindly way. Nobody knows that much, even the masters among us, and believe me, there are few. We all have things to learn. Share it in a kindly way, but share it. Have a great week. Come on over to bsuboutiques.com, because you know that's where we got the good stuff. And get yourself a pinky. Get her out of the sea of pearls. Pinky and the pearls. Okay, guys, have a great week, and I'm going to try to get back next week, and maybe we will talk about Lumières if my next shipment comes in, or maybe finish up Pinky or something. We'll do something fun. Something good. See you next week. Have a great week. Bye.